Hey guys, welcome back. Fun lab coming up. This is the TLOC Extension lab. What I want to do over here, I want to demonstrate a feature that is really useful for companies that are trying to save a buck. London, this site over here, wants to have redundancy in terms of having an MPLS link and an internet link. It also wants to have redundancy from the perspective of it doesn't want to have a single device. They want to have two vEdges over here, vEdge 3 and vEdge 4. But at the same time, these links over here are a operational expense where you get a bill at the end of every month. So rather than doing what Dubai did, where they have two links on each one of those vEdges, giving it 4 external links, here I'm going to get only 2 links, one MPLS link and one internet link. But what that does now is the capabilities that we looked in the policies section where we had the ability to pick between 2 different transports. vEdge 3 at this point will only have 1 external transport. vEdge 4 will only have 1 external transport. So I would not be able to leverage those app-aware routing type of features where I have 2 different transports on the vEdge. So the max that I could do is do some type of policy-based routing where I send some traffic here, some traffic over here, but not take advantage of the multi-transport type of capability with things like the SLAs and the app-aware routing type of features that you have on the SD-WAN architecture. So how do I take advantage of that? One of the things that you could do is you can leverage vEdge 3 over here, could leverage the link over connecting it to vEdge 4 and use vEdge 4 as its transport to the outside. So for vEdge 3, gig 01 over here is the biz internet transport, but it's not going directly over here. He has no idea about that. What he's going to do is he's going to send the default gateway towards vEdge 4. vEdge 4 over here is going to say anything that I receive from gig 03, it is an MPLS transport. I'm going to be treated as a transport and forwarded through gig 01 to the outside. And this extension of the TLOC through another vEdge is known as TLOC Extension. So I'm extending my TLOC. I don't have 2 actual transports to the outside. My second transport is via another vEdge, and that's your TLOC. Now over here, I'm going to put a default gateway route. My default gateway on the internet would normally point to him, but vEdge 3 will point the default gateway towards vEdge 4's inside network. So I'm setting gig 03 over here to do the TLOC extension for vEdge 4. At the same time, vEdge 4 only has the internet transport, does not have the MPLS transport. Again, I'm going to use a local gig 00 interface, which is going to point towards gig 03, and I'm going to run OSPF over here. Why am I going to run OSPF? Because OSPF is going to allow me to run OSPF all the way to vEdge 3. vEdge 3 in turn will learn all the MPLS routes and pass them on. So just like the MPLS, I'm going to run OSPF over here. I could have done a default route, but then I would need to redistribute this route 22 to the rest of the network. So rather than doing that, I'm just extending OSPF all the way to vEdge 4. So in logical manner now, by doing the TLOC extension, I have this guy also have another connection over here like this, and this guy also has another connection like that. So now this guy will have 4 TLOCs to go out. 2 TLOCs on vEdge 3, the MPLS and the TLOC extension biz internet, and vEdge 4 will have 2, one internet and the TLOC extension for MPLS. So how do I accomplish that? The first thing again, onboard the device. We have not onboarded the devices yet. Once the devices get onboarded, we'll do the templates to do the TLOC extension. A little longer lab than the other one, but again, follows the same overall principles. So let's get started. First thing, let's bring up the vEdge 3. Log in, blank device, or should it is. Now I'm going to use the same notepad file, change some parameters. I'll say this is vEdge 3, 203. This is the second site, London site. This remains the same. This I can keep it the same. I'm going to change this with the template anyways. The internet is gig 02, not this one, sorry, to go over here. Gig 00 is 192.168.21.3, I'll say. And my default gateway will, for right now, will be the MPLS cloud, which is Again, going to be 254 on that network. Let's check. 21 is 254, this guy over here. So this is the same network I'm going to be on. So I'm going to be 21.3 VH3. This one again will be 21.254. The rest is the same. So let's get this going. Let's see if it works. VH3. And if everything's fine, I should be able to ping this guy, which I am. Again, same concept. Go over here. New session. 192.168.21.3. Admin. Save the password. Login. There you go. Download the root cert. Validate the root cert or install the root cert. home/admin. Done. Request vEdge cloud activate chassis. And this is going back over here. Okay. Let's get my devices up so I can look at my chassis number. There you go. Copy. And go back. Copy it. There you go. Now wait for it to get registered over here with the CSR and then the certificate. There you go. One of them is done. Let's do the other one. This one is connected on the internet, not to the MPLS cloud. So the address will be a little different. Let's check that. 22 dot, I'll say 4, and this will be 22.254. The parameters, vEdge 4, 204, the same site, same everything. This is 22.4, and this is on the internet, no 168. Same thing over here. 22.254 is the default gateway. Copy it. Ping 199.113 to test it. Oh, should be gig 01. So VPN 0, because this interface over here is gig 01. Gig 00 is the interface for the MPLS that I'm going to do later on. So let's go back over here. Actually, I'll just do it manually. No interface gig E0/0, interface gig E0/1. IP address is 192.1.22.4. No shut, tunnel interface, uncap IPSEC, allow service, netconf, SSH D, and then what was the other one? These are the two main ones. I can put ICMP, it's on by default, by the way. And I'll get rid of the old default gateway. No to this guy. Actually, the default gateway is okay. Default gateway is okay. Now let's check. There you go. Finally. So my address is this guy. 22. I can go back over here and push the certificate. New session. 22.2 admin. Admin. Save password. Log in. Continue. Root cert. And it's done. Now I can do my normal stuff. Request root cert install /home/admin/root cert.cer. Done. Request vEdge activate chassis, and the number is, let's pick this one now. Token. Got this up over here. Now let's check. Done. So vEdge3 and vEdge4 are registered. Now it's a little tricky over here. So let's go do it slowly. VPN 0 on vEdge3. I'm going to have one VE-BR1, VPN 0, BR2 actually, VPN 0. That's okay because it's going to have the ID of VPN 0 and it's going to have a default gateway which is device specific. So that's okay. Then I'm going to have BR2 VPN interface, which is gig 0, which is going to have a device specific thing, which is also okay. Gig 01 device specific, it's going to be this interface, but from my perspective, it's still the same. Just now the interface, which is biz internet, gig 1 is good. Protocol OSPF, no problems. I can use a common template for that. What I need a specific template. Actually, then I have a third interface that I need to do, which is gig 03. Gig 03 over here, this guy over here is acting as a TLOC extension interface. You need to do something special over here in terms of the interface that tells it, hey, I want to do a TLOC extension. Basically means I'm going to be receiving a packet from another vEdge. I'm going to take that packet and forward it to a particular interface. And you need to specify that in the template. I'll show you how to do that. So gig 3 is the TLOC extension over here. And I'm using gig 3 over here as a TLOC extension for my MPLS for vEdge 4. So even that I can configure as a normal interface with device specific characteristics. So let's take a look at that. So we'll do the normal ones. I have vEdge, the VE system, VE banner, global ones. So I don't need to do anything special about it. For VPN 0 though, I do need a bunch of different templates. So I'll just use a copy command over here. So we'll take VPN 0 commands and then we'll copy them. Because a lot of the stuff is similar to VPN, not VPN 0, sorry, device site, BR1. So we'll do BR1. All the BR1 shows up. The first thing that I need to do is BR1, VPN 0. I'll copy it. I could have created the same one, but I just wanted to keep it separate for BR2. So copy it. And I'm going to say this is for BR2. It's actually going to be the exact same template. I'll show you that in a second. So BR2 is done for VPN 0. Then I need VPN 0 gig 0 interface. I can copy this one. And this is for BR2 as well. Again, because it was device specific, most of the parameters, I can keep the same template characteristics. Now I need gig 1, which is this guy over here. Copy it. 2, gig 1 for BR2. That's also good. And the OSPF, let me think about OSPF. Yeah, OSPF is on Gig 0, that's also the same. So OSPF, where's OSPF over here for VPN 0? The other OSPF will be different. I'll explain that. The inside OSPF. Oh, let me think about this. Oh no, OSPF for this one is different. Outside is going to be different. Let me explain that. I'll show you that. So I'm going to keep the OSPF for the outside different. So that's the one that's remaining right now. Let's finish VPN 0, including that one. I need two additional things over here now. I have done, if you remember, I needed these things for a VPN 0 template. I need a VPN 0 template, which is done. I needed a VPN interface template for gig 0, done. I needed a VPN interface gig 1 template, which has the same characteristics. I'll show you that in a second. That is also done. I also need the third interface over here, which is the TLOC extension interface. I have not done that. That's what I want to show you right now. And then I need a VPN OSPF interface. I'll tell you why it will be different for vEdge 3 and vEdge 4. So I'm going to create two different ones. I'll create one for vEdge 3 and another one for vEdge 4. Two separate OSPF templates. So I need 3 additional templates for VPN 0. This is the top part. After that, it becomes easy. So first thing is the VPN interface template for gig 3. Gig 3 is the TLOC extension template. So how do I do that? I'll create a template. It's still an interface template. vEdge Cloud, VPN interface. It should open it up. So this is VR2, VPN interface, VPN 0, gig 3. No shut, the global. This is GE0/3. That's good. Interface IP address, I'm going to say device specific. This is for gig 3. Also good. Now, is this a tunnel interface? It is not a tunnel interface. Instead, I need to go to advanced. It is a TLOC extension interface. So if you go scroll down, one of the options is TLOC extension. So this interface, the job of this interface is to take a packet coming in from another vEdge and propagate it to another one. So the vEdge 3 template, gig 3 template on vEdge 4 is going to take it from gig 03 and forward it to the internet. The internet device over here, the interface ID is gig 01. But this guy, this is also gig 03, by the way, he's going to take the traffic and send it or extend it to gig 00. So the interface is going to be different. That's what this is all about. You need to specify when you do the TLOC extension, what interface are you going to propagate it to? The TLOC extension interface is what you need to specify. If you look at the thing, it says VPN IF, which is interface TLOC extension. So the interface that I'm going to be forwarding it to, I'm not going to specify it. I'm going to do it based on device specific because it's going to be different for vEdge 3 and vEdge 4. So I'll call it TLOC interface. So I know that I need to specify a TLOC interface, either gig 0 or gig 1, depending on the device. So this is what I'm doing. TLOC interface. That's the only difference that I did over here. Set the IP address. Normally, it's not a tunnel because it's not initiating the tunnel. It's taking an existing packet coming in and just extending it. Gig 03, and it's got a TLOC extension, which is device specific. Click Save. That part is taken care of now. Now the OSPF part. Now I'm going to create two different OSPFs. The reason for that is the OSPF, when I specify the VPN OSPF, I need to specify what interfaces am I going to run OSPF on. On vEdge 4, I'm only going to run it in gig 00 towards the vEdge 3, which is from his perspective the MPLS connection. But on vEdge3, I need to run it on gig 00, but I also need to run it on gig 01 because I need to allow this to come in. So the amount of interface, the number of interfaces for vEdge3 is going to be 2. It's going to be running it on gig 00 and the TLOC extension interface. Here, he's initiating the OSPF, so he's only going to run it on gig 00. So I'm going to create 2 different templates for OSPF for VPN 0. That's why I did not do it initially. So here, I'm going to go in and say add template. I have to create 2 of them. So I'll say vEdge Cloud. We'll do BR4 first. So this is for OSPF. So when I call it in the device template, I need to have 2 different device templates. So I'll say VE BR2 branch 2. This is for vEdge 4. I'll do vEdge 4 first. OSPF or VPN 0, because I have 2 different interfaces. The number of interfaces is different. So this is okay. The rest is fine. And just go to area, add it in area 0. Add interface. This is for 4. 4 only has 1 OSPF interface, which is gig E0/2 0/0. That's my outside interface. This guy over here connecting towards the vEdge. On vEdge3 is going to be on this gig 03 interface to support vEdge 4 plus on the normal gig E0. So this one gig E0 is there. Click add. So only 1 interface on vEdge 4. This is vEdge 4. Click save. For the other one, I'm just going to copy this. Where's vEdge 4? And add another interface. So I'll copy it. I'll call it vEdge 3. Copy. And now let's go edit that one. Where is vEdge 3? Right here. This one has 1 additional interface that you need to worry about. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Area, edit. So on vEdge 4, I just had 1 interface. On vEdge 3, it's going to be the TLOC interface that I need to run OSPF on and the outside interface. So let it come up. So gig E00 is already there. I'm going to add another interface. And what is that interface? Gig E0/3. This guy as well. So this one has 2 interfaces that it's running OSPF on. The TLOC extension interface and the actual outside MPLS interface. Save changes. That's why I had to create the template differently, because for multiple interfaces, I cannot do device specific. It has to be, I can do device specific within that, but not for multiple interfaces. So I created that. That took care of everything that I needed to do for my VPN 0. VPN 1 is easy. So if I go to VPN 1, I just do VPN 1. I get all the VPN 1s from the other side. I just need to copy it. So I'll copy the VPN. Where's the VPN 1? There you go. It's exactly the same. I don't need to change anything. Just the name will change to BR2. I could technically have used the same one because it's the exact same configuration over here. And I did everything device specific. It's all good. This is done. Now I'll do the interface gig 2. Copy this. BR2. BR2. So I have 2 interfaces now, and the protocol VPN 1. It's exactly the same because on the inside both vEdge 3, vEdge 4 are exactly like vEdge 1 and vEdge 3. So OSPF, I'll copy that. BR2 and BR2. So I should have 3 of each. So total of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks good. I'm now ready to create my device templates. Because I have different templates for the different devices, I need to create 2 separate templates. So what is the name over here? I'll just use that and just make it a little different. Copy from feature template. and this is for vEdge cloud. Let it populate. Now VR2 first of all, and because I'm going to have a different template for vEdge3 versus vEdge4, I'm going to do it like that. And the reason is I have a different OSPF running. So this one is the same common one, VPN 0 for, I think I should have called it VR2 over here. Let me change the name, otherwise it does later on not let me change the name, make it better. So this is for what? This was for, let me just check VR. Where did I make that mistake? VR1. It was for VPN 0, so. VR1 VPN 0. There it is. It's VR2. What did I see? This is still the same. This is staying. Maybe I messed up on the description, maybe. I don't know where it's going wrong. So BR2 gig 0, BR2 gig 1. Add another interface for the TLOC extension, which is BR3 or gig 3, sorry. BR2 gig 3. And then the OSPF. The OSPF that I want, this is where the difference comes in between vEdge3 and vEdge4. This is for vEdge3 with the 2 interfaces, whereas this is with 1 interface. That's why I had to create it separately. So this is the 3 interfaces, the OSPF and VPN 0. This one is a common one. I haven't changed it. Still the same. ETH0. Service VPN is it's a different one, but it's the same concepts. VR2, 1 interface, which is your gig 2 for BR2. Should be towards the bottom, gig 2. And the OSPF, which is again for BR2, OSPF for VPN1. BR2, VPN1, all good. Now, I need to specify the attaching of the device for vEdge3. And as the name suggests, it's just one. It's a specific device. Attach. Now, a bunch of different parameters need to be specified. Let's pay attention to these. Edit. IP address for gig 02, which is the inside interface. We'll say 20.3. 172. 20.3. That's on the inside. This guy over here. Internet gateway. Let's check that. Internet gateway for vEdge3 is going to be 21.4. So this is the address on that I'm going to specify on gig 03. So from router vEdge3's perspective, his default gateway for the internet is 21.4. So if I go on to my 172 dot, what is the address? I should have kept that other page in the background. It is 192.1.21.4 is my internet gateway. The IP address of my G03, that's the one that I'm going to be using to do the TLOC extension for vEdge4. It's 192.168.22.3 on this interface. So it's the incoming interface for vEdge4. So 192 168.24.3/24. That's where I'm going to run OSPF on. TLOC extension. So whatever I get on this interface, I'm going to move it up to gig 00. So that's what allows us the ability to do the device specific. Be careful over here. It has to be gig with GEs in lowercase 00. The IP address of gig 01, which is my IP address on this interface, 192.1.21.3/24. So my default gateway is 21.4. I am 21.3 on the same network. IP address on gig 00, which is this interface, 192.168.21.3. That's the MPLS interface, 192.168.23. Is it 23 or 21? 21.3. Time zone is London, so it's Europe, EU. Scroll down until you get to London. Hostname vEdge 3. I'm not done. System IP 10.2.203. And the site will say is 102. London site. Update. Next. Configure. And wait. Once this comes up, we validate it, then we'll go and do the other one. So let's see, it's on its way. So at this time, I should have two OSPF neighbor relationships, one towards the outside and one towards the inside. So I should learn the MPLS routes, and I should learn the routes from site 2. Let's wait for that to happen, and then we'll move forward. Then we'll do vEdge 4. This lab you need to do slowly, understanding what you're doing. So go through this video a couple of times, understand what you need to do with the TLOC extension. It does take some time to get used to it. It's passed, so if everything is fine, if I go to vEdge 3 right now, show IP route, I should see some routes. For OSPF from the outside, that tells me that I am running properly on the outside, so I see OSPF routes. 11, 12, 21, all those routes. And I should also see some OSPF routes in VPN1 on the inside. These are from the outside. So this is the OMP coming in from 201. That's okay. I'm looking for these routes from the inside. So that tells me that site 2 internal router should also have routes. There you go. And a neighbor relationship. So all good now. Now to finish it off, let's do the last vEdge on this particular site. Go back to the templates. And I'll create another template for vEdge 4 to finish it off. So this is for vEdge 4. System. This is still, I don't know where this is coming from, but that's okay. BR VPN 0, that's BR3 actually. The interfaces, it's the same BR interfaces, so BR2 VPN 0, BR2 VPN gig 1, BR2 gig 1, and another interface for gig 3, BR2 VPN interface gig 3. So those are the three interfaces in VPN 0. Gig 2 is the inside interface, and then the OSPF. The OSPF, this one has vEdge 4 because I'm doing it for vEdge 4. That's done. This one is simple. The normal one, ETH1 or ETH0, sorry, service VPN, BR2 VPN 1, OSPF, BR2 OSPF for VPN 1, and the interface BR2 gig 2, BR2 gig 2, create, and this is vEdge4, attach, so let's go to vEdge4 now. Now give me the edit option. Again, the same parameters that I specified for vEdge3, I'm going to do it over here. Okay, IP address gig 2. Gig 2 is this guy over here. So it's going to be 172.16.20.4. 20.4. Internet gateway for him is 22.254. 192.1.22.254. IP address for gig 3, that is this interface over here, the one that vEdge3 is using as a default gateway. 192.1.21.4, he was using that as the default gateway. Need to match it because he's pointing to you. /24. TLOC extension, so whatever he gets, he's going to forward it to gig 01. So that's where the interface will be GE lowercase gig 01. Gig 1 IP, gig 1 IP is this IP over here, 22.4 I'll say. So 192.1.22.4. IP address on gig 00, which is the interface towards vEdge3, that's going to be my TLOC, my transport, which will go through the TLOC extension. So 192.168.22.3, I've already set vEdge3 for, sorry, I'm going to be 4, I've set vEdge3 as 3. So 192.168, what was it, 22.4. The other guy is 22.3. Time zone is still London. Still the same site. Host name vEdge4, system IP 10.10.204, and site ID is 102. Update. Next, configure. Let's wait for this. Now, while we're waiting for this, let me make sure you guys understand the implication of this. Now, I have two sites, hypothetically having two transports. He has two transports like this. This guy has two transports this way, and he has his own transport this way. So both of them have two transports. So technically speaking, this particular site that I have has two vEdges with two transports each. So if this guy over here wants to reach him, he also has two transports to go there. So I can leverage 4 different ways to get to a site over here once this is up. Although you only see these, but technically I'm load balancing over 4 equal sites over here right now. Let it come up, I'll show you that. We can actually simulate that. Success. So if that is fine, if I go to my site routers, I should have 2 different ways of getting to the same route. Let's check the routing table. See that? I can get through vEdge2 or vEdge1 for any of the routes from the other side. And if I go to site 2 router, I should be able to go through either 1 or 2. Sorry, 3 or 4 locally, either 3 or 4. Now to simulate that is I'll go to monitor, network. So now I have 2 sites with each one having 4 TLOCs. So I'll go to, let's say, vEdge3 and see how many different ways can I go from vEdge3 VPN1 to VPN1 behind the Dubai edges. They'll come up, troubleshooting, simulate flows, and what's my network address? We'll go to 11.1, 172.16.11.1 is the destination. Wanted to check that. VPN 1. So 172.16.11.1. Take a look at the number of paths that I have over there. I get 4 TLOCs. So because I have 4 TLOCs, I have 4 equal paths to get from point A to point B. Although technically, physically, I only have 2 connections to the internet. But because of the TLOC extension gave me the capability of now leveraging 4 different TLOCs to get there. And that's where you can use features like app-aware routing to allow the traffic to flow through either of the different TLOCs that you have. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next video.